Hello everyone, welcome back to LaExcellence Bengaluru presents current issue of the day, episode number 162. In today's episode, we will be learning an important and a burning issue, that is the case of blood money and the curious case of Nimisha Priya. In this video, we will see what is this Nimisha Priya case and what do you mean by blood money and what are its ethical implications as well as legal implications. So, in syllabus, it comes under GS2 International Relations because it includes India and Yemen, and in paper 4, it comes under Ethics and Interface. And in context, Nimisha Priya family members of the Kerala nurse who has been sentenced to death for murder in Yemen see a glimmer of hope after the last minute postponement of her execution. This case is not new, it has been ongoing from 2022. So, we will see the discussion and we will see what is the background to this case. So, the background is, who is Nimisha Priya? Nimisha Priya is a Kerala-born Indian nurse who had been working in Yemen, a conflict-ridden country, for several years. You know about Yemen, the Yemen and the Oman, all the Houthi rebels are present in Yemen, and it has been conflict-ridden for so long. They have been going on civil wars, etc. is happening there. Next, she was convicted of murdering a Yemeni national, Khalaf al-Azi, in 2017. And was sentenced to death by a Yemeni court in 2020. Okay, not 2022. It is older than 2020. What happened? The allegation was that Nimisha administered a lethal injection to Khalaf al-Azi, dismembered his body and disposed of it in the water tanks. The motive claimed by the defense, that is, what did she say, that al-Azi allegedly forged marriage papers to sexually exploit her, abused her and denied her access to her daughter. She claimed that the killing was not premeditated but a desperate attempt to escape continued abuse. Okay, so this is the case of most of the Indians who go to abroad in the Middle East. They are most of the times exploited, both sexually, physically and financially. In this case, she was exploited by the Yemeni national or local, that is al-Azi, and he used forged documents and then married her. And after the marriage, he started abusing her. So she wanted to escape. Recently, there was a movie called as Diplomat, which is present in Amazon Prime. It talks about a similar story. How an Indian national who was staying in Malaysia, she got into a Pakistani national's love affair and then went to Pakistan. As soon as she went there, her documents were forged and she was married away, and then it had to be a long diplomatic battle by the Indian government to bring her back to India. So similar cases here. Next, her motherly desperation and trauma have led to many compare the case with the Kerala nurse Jolly Joseph, but with emphasis on the systematic victimization and desperation in Nimisha's case. There was a similar case called as Jolly Joseph case. If you want to know more about it, search in the Google. It is a very interesting case as well. Next, what is blood money? The definition of blood money is, blood money or diya is a provision under Islamic Sharia law prevalent in many Muslim majority countries like Yemen, Saudi Arabia and Iran. It allows the family of the victim to pardon the convict in return for monetary compensation, thereby averting the death penalty. Very simple. That is, if you have committed any offense in the sense any crime. So, if you have committed a crime in Yemen under this blood money, you have a discourse or you have a chance to escape the death penalty or chance to escape punishment, that is by paying money. That is why the name comes as blood money. Blood here denotes the crime and the money denotes money paid to compensate this crime. This is the blood money case. So it depends, the money that has to be paid depends on the crime that has been committed, what kind of crime has been committed and what kind of case has been filed here. Next. Okay, so it is present in Sharia law or Islamic Sharia law, which is already followed in many of the Muslim countries, and Yemen, which is a predominantly Muslim country, they are also following this death penalty. The legal status is, it is legal under the Yemeni Sharia based law. It does not imply innocence. It doesn't mean that they are innocent. It doesn't mean that they didn't commit crime. It is a proof that they have committed crime, however, but offers a way out based on reconciliation and forgiveness by the victim's kin. Okay, Whatever has happened has already happened, so we should come together for reconciliation and provide some compensation so that you are able to support your family. So that is the logic behind this, and how it has been applied in Nimisha's case. The Nimisha's family and the support groups, including Save Nimisha Priya International Action Council, which is based in Kerala, are raising funds for the blood money to be offered to Al Aziz family. Yemeni law allows such reconciliation, but the family of the deceased has so far refused pardon. Okay, one thing we have to understand in blood money, it is not only on the money but also consent of the victim's family. First they have to provide consent, that is there has to be reconciliation between both the parties, only then it has to be taken forward. Here the money is available from the Nimisha's side or Nimisha's family side, but the consent of the victim's family is not yet in place. Next, what are the ethical and legal dimensions? First is the ethical dimension. It is about right to life and justice for the murder. Does victim's family have the moral authority to override state justice in exchange for money? Okay, then should state sanctioned retribution be monetized? Meaning, if you say that retribution can be monetized, the people with a higher amount of money or the rich people can do all the crime that is available to the human being and then just provide the monetary term and expect the retribution. Okay, there has to be case by cases that has to be taken here. Power imbalance and desperation. Nimisha was allegedly trapped and abused. Her act, though criminal, raises questions about systematic exploitation of the migrant workers, especially the women. Okay. Next, the moral legitimacy of death penalty. Should India, which opposes death penalty in practice, intervene more aggressively when its citizens face execution abroad? Is it the role of the government which focuses on welfare state or welfareism to the citizens? Should it come forward and go to the rescue of the citizens which have been trialed under the death penalty? These are the ethical dimensions that has to be taken care of. Next, in the legal basis, the Indian Constitution provides right to life under Article 21, but this does not extend extraterritorially. Okay, very important. Though there is a right to life, but in this case, the right to life doesn't apply to Nimisha Priya case because the offense is committed abroad. It is not in the national border. India can offer her diplomatic assistance but cannot interfere with the MS judiciary, which has to be taken care again. India's efforts are therefore restricted to consular access, legal aid and diplomatic persuasion. So, blood money negotiations are private, not state-led, although civil society can assist in these cases. Okay, these are the legal and ethical dimensions of this case. So, the implications for the international relations, how it will be impacting India-Yemen relations. One is, India has historically been friendly with Yemen, especially in the medical and humanitarian aid. India has always been helping towards the Yemen due to the crisis that has been happening in Yemen. But Yemen is currently undergoing a civil war, making a diplomacy fragile. There is no Indian embassy present in Yemen currently. Diplomatic work is coordinated through Indian mission that is present in Djibouti, very close to the Yemeni country, which is present on the Horn of Africa. Humanitarian diplomacy, this could serve as a precedent for India's role in protecting diaspora abroad, especially migrant workers in the West Asia, where lakhs of Indian women work under the difficult conditions similar to Nimisha Priya. So this can act as a precedent, and this can also emphasize or signifies the role of role of India in protecting the women abroad. Next, global image of India. A successful intervention may boost India's reputation as humanitarian and rights conscious democracy. Failure to act undermines trust among the diaspora workers, especially women in Gulf and Arab states. So India should do whatever it is possible in its power to make sure that the rights of women or the migrant workers are taken care, so that the global image of India persists, and it is the right thing to do. So way forward should be providing legal diplomacy and advocacy, that is continued pressure through track 2 diplomacy and back channel talks, coordinate with UN bodies, NGOs and international human rights groups to seek pardon and promote awareness. Second one is migrant worker protection policy, develop pre-departure training and legal support systems, create a government mandated legal aid fund for the Indian nationals facing trials abroad. That has been done in the case of Nimisha Priya. This has to be expanded to other such individuals who are facing the trials in abroad. And second is re-evaluation of the blood money systems, that is encourage multilateral engagement on ethical frameworks of blood money and criminal justice in Islamic countries. Okay, so blood money cannot be alternative for escaping the death penalty because there are inequality and there is the issue of right to life as well as equity which is involved, because the rich can afford the money, and what about the victims of the poor family? There has to be some sort of retribution provided to them as well, so that has to be taken care of. Then public support and ethical fundraising, if allowed, ensure transparency in blood money crowdfunding, emphasize the human rights angle, not just the legal culpability. If the case is very grievous or very grave, if the case has been committed with the intent of committing the crime, and if there is malified intentions behind a particular crime, then it has to be taken care not from the human based angle but from the legal angle. But if there is a commission of any crime under the act of desperation, then that has to be taken care under the human rights. Okay, every case has to be taken care from the case to case basis. So this is a very important topic which I want to discuss with you. There are every chance that a question can come from this in the international relations GS2 or GS4. So be ready for such kind of questions because UPSC is diversing its options. So with this I will end the video. Jai Hind.